Alright, well, welcome back. Norwich Media here with another part of the Let's Play, Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode, we ended up taking a bit of a reprieve from the main storyline quest and going ahead and doing the Valentine's Day seasonal event quest. Really excited to jump back into the main storyline quest because I'm getting pretty close to being finally finished with the Dragon Song War and Heavensward, and I'm pretty excited to move into Stormblood. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and start my playthrough. The beast that mourned at the heart of the mountain. Shifting nervously from foot to foot, Gabu struggles to meet your gaze. I heard Great Father Titan loves crystals, cherishes, covets, loves them, and if we gather enough, he will return. That's why the Patriarch told everyone to go forth and gather them. So, I was thinking, if we take all the crystals away, maybe the Great Father won't come. Very good, Gabu. I was just thinking the same thing. Do you know where these crystals are stored? I know. Several spots, each defended by a different order. Gabu wanted to steal them, but he was too afraid to go alone. Yes, too afraid to go alone. But together, we can take them away and hide them. Come, Gabu will lead you to the first cache. Alright. Quickly. Do you have them all? Good. Lead on, Gabu. This way. Time is short. If you have the crystals, we should move on to the next cache. Did you hear me? Brother. Aye, it's just that... I am quite certain that Crate once bore Ishgardian seals. Someone took great pains to remove all traces, but enough remains to make out the pattern. See for yourself. I struggle to imagine kobolds traveling to Querthus to obtain crystals, much less bothering to conceal their origins. I suspect these crystals were smuggled into Vilbrand by another party, most likely a pawn of the Ascians, as Thancred speculated. I don't understand. Who are the Ascians? Did they worship Great Father Titan too? Never you mind about that. As Alice said, we do not have a lot of time. Can you lead us to the next cache, Gabu? Yes, of course. Gabu knows the way. This next one is the last, and it is very large, very big, very huge, very large. Though you cast about for a time, you see no sign of the crystals. Confound it. What about you, Alaric? Any luck? Nothing. But this cannot be. Gabu saw them. Spotted, saw. Think, brother, think. They must have moved them, yes? The question is, where to and why? Within Ogmora, where they summoned Titan once before and mean to do so again, it is the only explanation. What about Mother and Father and the others? We have to help them. And we will, Gabu. We will. Stay calm. We still have time. They have yet to call for the remaining crates, yes. If they had, then they would have found the other caches emptied and sounded the alarm. Nevertheless, I believe the time for stealth has passed. We must breach the navel and seize the remaining crystals. There is no other way to prevent Titan summoning. But first, give me your crystals, that I might deliver them into Commander Blodine's custody. We dare not take them into the bowels of the mountains. The crystals, Alaric, if you would be so kind. Thank you. I shall deliver them to the camp overlook for safekeeping and brief Commander Blodin on the situation. Pray go on ahead. As I recall, there is an aetheryte within the Ungamara mines that should deliver you to the navel. Gabu doubtless knows the way. Wait for me there. I shall rejoin you anon. Strange. I would have thought you eager to remain in the thick of the action. But if this is what you would prefer, then Godspeed, brother. This way, this way. Oh, it's this. Okay. It's around here. Ah, I take it this is the aetheryte we seek. Right then. As soon as Alpha No arrives, we go. I trust you're feeling suitably heroic, Alaric. There's no telling what sort of resistance we'll face in there. Quickly, you clods. Briskly, swiftly, quickly. I will not suffer any further delays. Lay down your arms and surrender. We have your crystals. There will be no summoning this day. Overdwellers, here? But how did you... Where are my parents, Patriarch? Where are they? Man. Mother? Father? Coke for the furnace, you monster. How could you? We are but servants of the Lord of Crags. We are his, that he may drink of our blood and partake of our flesh, that he might draw upon the strength of his children and defend them from the tyranny of the overdwellers. No, Ali say, not yet. I understand, Patriarch. I do. Your fear, your anger, your hate. You would do anything to protect your people, anything to deliver them from despair, whatever it takes to ensure that those who threaten you can never do so again. But in your single-minded pursuit of this objective, you have brought suffering on your own kin and kith. You have sacrificed the lives of the very people you sought to protect. But it need not be this way, Patriarch. Renounce this bloody course. Cease your attempts to summon your god and work with us together to build a lasting peace. Another peace to be abandoned at the overdwellers' convenience? Oathbreakers, all of you, liars, betrayers, oathbreakers. You take and you take and you take, and when you have had your fill, you sue for peace. You promise that this time is the last, until you grow hungry again. And when we dare to defend ourselves, you declare that this beast tribe cannot be suffered to live, that our God drains the land of ether and brings naught but suffering, death, destruction, suffering upon us all. I will hear no more lies from you and yours, Overdweller. You've ruined your own lands. You'll not ruin ours. I said I'd come for you, and I did. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Say something, please. 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 Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up. Seven hells. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Alpha, no. Leave him to me. We must away. By the 12, how could I be so foolish? I should have known better than to let Gabu accompany us, given that what we were like to find. His anguish and despair have served to birth a primal, just as surely as would the supplications of the faithful. Worse, being born of such tumultuous emotion, this incarnation of Titan seems incapable of naught but violence. If we have one cause for optimism, it is that while many crystals were present, they represented but a fraction of the quantity intended for the summoning ritual, meaning that Titan must be far weaker than planned. But that, as it may, he is yet a primal, and the longer we leave him to bleed the land of ether, the stronger he will grow. And should Titan be permitted to leave Ogamoro, where lives will be lost, the Maelstrom will rally their troops and the cycle will continue. Alaric, you know what must be done. Will you face the Lord of Crags once more? Thank you, my friend. Alice and I will tend to Gabu. When you have finished with the primal, look for us at Camp Overlook. We will be expecting you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do some fates. I'm gonna do this blind. Alright, so we already got 2 of the 4 DPS in that, so that's pretty good. That's a lot faster than what I was expecting. I guess this is just a primal fight though, so... Alright. Let's do it. I'm gonna do a blind primal fight. Here we go. I'm not gonna skip the cutscene. Alright, let's do this. There it is. Scholar and a Crag Weapons call for a pass, and I'm going to just pass on that. Wow, it had been a pretty long time since I've even remotely thought about that fight. Alright. Let's go talk to Alpha No. I was surprised to see a couple of the DPS ended up dying on that. It's been a while since I've seen that. Ah, there he is. Did I not tell you he would return safe and sound? The deed is done, then. Titan is no more? Good. There has been enough tragedy this day. He has been like that since he regained consciousness. We believe he can hear us, but he has made no attempt to respond. He is almost certainly still in shock, but we cannot discount the possibility that he has succumbed to the Primal's influence, should that prove to be the case. He must be put to death, like any other thrall. Such is the Alliance's policy, yes? You have the right of it, but we must not rush to conclusions. After all, we once feared that Ysael's followers were beyond reason, and may have since laid down their arms and accepted Ishgard's peace. We can but watch, wait, and pray. Beneath a star-filled sky, Alphino would rather not worry about what may or may not come to pass. There is naught to be gained from dwelling on an eventuality over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to more immediate matters, informing the commander of Bloodin of Titan's demise, for example. You may be certain that he will be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Ah, you're a sight for sore eyes. When the others came back without you, I feared the worst, but they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then, it is. I'm glad to hear it, but not half as glad as my men be. Believe you me. Regardless of whether or not he has summoned properly a primal's primal. And there ain't a soul in the maelstrom that hasn't lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong, we were all prepared to do our part, but we weren't so naive as to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which my friend sounds to me like the cause for celebration. Now I know a lot of places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass to the triumphant return of Titan's Bane.
Who goes there? Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas. It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences. Yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. Nevertheless, I had to believe he had good reason. I was determined to uncover the whole truth of the calamity and, perhaps in so doing, find my own purpose in this sea of chaos. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save. I found myself asking what it was all for. Why try if I was doomed to fail in the end? But then I recalled Grandfather's words to my father, years ago, before he left Charlayan behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the warriors of darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard.
I traveled far and wide with two companions, Estenine and Usail, who were under some rather unique circumstances. I had the pleasure to fight alongside Sir Emmerich. When Alphino and I came at last, traveled with two companions. Estinian.
Gods! They must have been at each other's throats from dawn till dusk. I dare say you managed to keep the peace, though. Merely being in the presence of the Warrior of Light is surely enough to shame anyone into behaving. The hopes and dreams of so many rest on your shoulders, Warrior of Light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say. It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scion's thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course. For the power to invoke the ardor belongeth not unto the Ascians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too-delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
Oh, man.
Very well. Draw him out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done. What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands? Minfilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness. Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
Wow, that's pretty exciting. I wasn't expecting that. Alright. What ho, Allard. I trust you had a good night's rest. I was but this moment speaking with Thancred and Y'shtola via Link Pearl. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had once borne Ishgardian seals. It would seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. Accordingly, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Emmerich believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but we shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they too are flush with Ishgardian crystals, and with that in mind, I suggest we pay Urian Shah another... Wait, where is Alice? She was here a moment ago, with Gabu. Ah, let me guess. It's time to leave, isn't it? My apologies for disappearing again. If it is any consolation, I have already packed my things. How is he? Brother, Commander Bloden, something tells me you are not solely here out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there has been no charge. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shuffles about with the same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander, and treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it, beneath the anguish and the despair. He's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance. Until he comes back to us, till we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out damn slight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, and nor will Maelstrom Command. I'm so sorry, Gabu. I truly am. You should never have to be made to, and I know I cannot possibly understand. Mayhap there is nothing I can do or say. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst. Fill up again with your love for them, and never, ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them, and you, Alice. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time, he will recover. And those who orchestrated these events will be made to answer for their crimes. A 1,000 times over, eh? There will be a reckoning. It was actually nice to see a queue still here. I'm logging in earlier. I was expecting everyone to be off playing Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong, I would be too, but unfortunately my GPU cannot handle it. So, and it'll be there. It'll still be there. Whenever I'm ready. Yep, I got 3 more expansions of Final Fantasy to get through. And, I guess I'm kind of set on getting through the rest of the expansions in the storyline. Haven't even gotten to the critically acclaimed part of it. And yet even Heavensward was solid. It was a solid expansion pack. And I'm not even done with it yet. Okay. We have heard the glad tidings from Ogamoro, my friends. By the grace of by the 12 and your most valiant efforts, the people of Limsa Lominsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. Though we failed to prevent the Lord of Craigs from manifesting, we did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the warriors of darkness could make matters worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one weigheth heavy on my lady's mind. As thou didst request, I sought out the Gurian oracles, that we might better understand the aims of the warriors of darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of the worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times have they succeeded. Then of 10 and 3, only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Minfilia spoke unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections, when they and their source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow unto the endless sea, there to endure as one and none. Then, if the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die? In essence, aye, the verse speaketh of the renunciation of the flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this fate may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if the first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness describe, it would give way unto a void wherein none may know either life or death. Far better to die, they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul, which returneth unto the source, may be born anew, saved, such, at least, is their belief, I surmise. If that is true then, gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on the subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. 'Twould seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Almegan parties. Almegans, strange. And you believe this to be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast tribes? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, unless thou wonder at their motive, I would remind you that the Ascians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Roger. The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of the Almegan liberation. It may also interest thee to know that their Ishgardian suppliers appear to be none other than the remnants of Elaine's Rolio's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and haunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Ascians, assuming they know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me. We must seek out the resistance group which received the crystals without delay. Alaric, Alice, will you come with me to Little Alamigo? Yes, of course. I should like to hear what they have found for themselves firsthand. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Alphino, Alice, Alaric, are you 3 listening? Good. I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. Cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were in the employ of, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. And you have them, and the crystals too. What few remained, regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. 'Twas bound for Little Almigo, we were told, where it would be received by a member of the local resistance group. Since Sir Emmerich's men no longer have need of my services, I have a mind to head that way. As do we, by happy coincidence. We learned of shipments but a few moments ago. Ha! And there I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and his little helpers. Ah, wait a minute. There's more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the employ of one Elaine Royal, the infamous Ivy herself. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that... Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one. As I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact Y'shtola next, but is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we have sought Urianger's aid, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of the grandfather's most dedicated pupils, and spent as much time at the Levelier estate as we did. He's practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter. Later, though, Little Almigo awaits. I'll get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me, it has been a long day. Did you have something to say? Urianger, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head, now more than ever. Listen, Alaric, if anything should happen, it should be me who just know that I am prepared to do what I must be done. Right then, to more pressing matters. Since we have no idea when Thancred might arrive, I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. When we were free, Alphino is eager to get to work. So to review, we are reliably informed that members of the Almigan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals, our task being to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the resistance movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are both able and willing to share such information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces, Alaric. Why don't you question the residents in the eastern half of town? Alice and I will do the same in the west, and afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our findings. I see you there, going around asking questions, looking for the Griffin and his lot, I'll bet. Seems that they're the talk of Little Almigo these days, folk wondering what he's about, what he's got in store for the Garleans, and what's under that mask of his, of course. Some say he's hardly got a face. What with all the scars, others reckon he's been marked for death by the Empire, and that they'd send a bloody legion if they knew he was. You guess is as good as mine. Let me guess. Come to join the fight, have you? No need to deny it, friend. You're not the first to answer the Griffin's call. While he's lit a fire in every Almegan's heart, he's also inspired more than a few Uldans to pledge themselves to the cause, and little wonder the Garleans won't stop until we're all under the yoke. Ugh, the Resistance, damned if I know. It's not as if they'd be any use to them. If you set store by all these tales of secret weapons, good luck to you, but I'm too old for the Mask's bedtime stories. This is our lot, and it's time we get used to it. I suppose I should ask what you learned, but I think I already know. The Griffin seems to be the leader of a newly formed faction within the Resistance, the Masks, yet despite their growing popularity, no one seems to know much about them, only that they are the most aggressively militant group to join the movement in recent memory. Indeed, many claim their commitment to the cause of Almegan liberation is unrivaled. We can but hope their revolutionary fervor is never channeled in the direction of a primal. Though, I feel confident that this is the group which received the crystal shipments, we yet lack proof before taking any action. I would speak with the settlement's leader to confirm my suspicions, and mayhap enlist his help while I'm about it. Given that you and Gunnodobald are already acquainted, mayhap it would be best if you took the lead, shall we? Gundobald. Much as it pleases me to see you again, Elric, I cannot help but wonder if I should be worried. I hear you and yours have been asking questions. The Griffin, I know of him, as do we all. He and his masks have become a leading faction within the Resistance. Though there's suspicion at first, given his secretive ways, he quickly proved himself a charismatic and capable commander. Men are drawn to his passion and his vision. They truly believe that he has what it takes to lead them to victory. Even I cannot help but admire the man for what he's accomplished, but I have not forgotten Willard. I was blind to the danger of his ambitions, and you were not. The Griffin will soon deliver a speech to our people at the sunken temple of Quarren. Go and see him, and your own eyes. Weigh his words with your own heart. How convenient. 'Tis but a pity Thancred is not here to join us. You two go on ahead. I shall stay behind and wait for him. Has it begun already? I hear voices coming from within.
Brothers and sisters, 20 years ago, Alamigo, our home, was claimed by the Garlean Empire. In our haste to overthrow the King of Ruin, We turned a blind eye to our foes in the north. With our glorious revolution, we but laid a path for a new tyrant to succeed the old. And when confronted with our failure, we fled. Not a day goes by that I do not think of those we left behind. Think of them and feel ashamed. And I know each and every one of you feels the same. We abandoned them, our own flesh and blood, to labor till their backs gave in and their breath gave out, building the twisted steel ramparts which now mar our once majestic mountains. We abandoned them, the brave and true, to fight and die for their country, or worse, to be conscripted and sent off to rob another poor bastard of his home. We abandoned them, the meek and powerless, to bow and scrape when the Garleans pass, to sully themselves that they might live to see another day of misery. The Black Wolf may be dead, but a new Imperial Viceroy reigns in Alamigo now. A beast, not a fraction as merciful. You all know the Eorzean Alliance will do naught to oppose him. For all their promises and platitudes, they will not act if there's no profit in it. Only we can free our brothers and sisters from the Empire's tyranny, my friends. Only we have the courage to stand and fight. They have imprisoned us. They have enslaved us. And they have murdered us. But no more! Blood demands blood, and the Garleans shall pay for every drop they have spilt upon our lands. This I promise you, for we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness. Only join us, and we shall grant you the means to unleash it, and together we shall see the Alamigan standard raised over the mountains of Gia Arbania once more!
A power befitting their pride. Not at all ominous, that. Wait, is that...
What are you two doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, well, this is quite the surprise.
If you see what I see, if you feel as I feel...
Might I suggest we continue this conversation in more agreeable surroundings?
For it is not strength of arms that will win this battle, but strength of heart.
Words cannot express how glad I am to see you both alive and well. And you, though it was pretty obvious you and Alaric would be fine. The Crystal Braves never had a realistic chance of capturing any of the Scions, divided as they were and distrusted by a better part of Eorzea. But if you truly believe that, forgive me, what exactly have you two have been doing all this time? Repaying a favor, After the banquet, we had no choice but to flee Oda, and we would not have been able to do so without the aid of some old friends from the Resistance. That's right, they smuggled us out of the city and sheltered us in Little Almigo, all at a great risk to themselves. Obviously, we couldn't let that go unacknowledged, so we offered to help them out with their operations for a while. When we learned of the Scion's exoneration, that Lolito had severed all ties with the Crystal Braves, and that General Rahaban had been reinstated, we resolved to make contact, but having long since discarded our link pearls as a precautionary measure, our options were rather limited. To make matters more complicated, we were embroiled in a delicate operation at the time, leaving me with the little choice but to entrust a letter to a courier. I gather from your puzzled expression, however, that you never received it. To be honest, we thought this might happen. While the masks are happy to let the refugees spread the word within the community, they're pretty strict about communicating with outsiders. Oh, and we also heard a rumor that the Griffin doesn't want us meddling in his affairs. The Griffin mistrusts the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Curious. It is well known that we are no friends to Garlemald. One would think that this man we saw beseeching all the sundry to join his cause would welcome our support. I should say that the man you saw was not, in fact, the Griffin, but an impersonator, and a talented rabble-rouser to boot. 'Twould not surprise me if he were responsible for the majority of these public appearances. As you may have gathered, the Griffin is an extremely cautious and distrusting man who has made every effort to conceal his identity. Even when we participated in a raid under his direct command, we were not permitted to approach him. It's hard to know what to make of all of it. The secrecy, the impersonators, the masks. What? It's not as if I'm making all of you wear one, and mine only covers half my face. It's completely different. Anyway, when we heard the Griffin was due to give a speech, we thought it might be a good opportunity to get a better sense of the man for all the good it did. And now you have heard the whole of it. But tell me, what prompted you to take an interest in the Griffin? Summoning? You're not serious. I can't believe it. The Resistance would never even entertain such a ridiculous plan. But the Griffin, well, the man is an enigma. I cannot say with any confidence what he would or would not do. What I can say, however, is that the speech we heard today was not the first to make reference to a power capable of defeating the Empire. The masks have made such claims of late, I confess. I had assumed it to be mere bluster. But in the context of the shipments of which you spoke, it is not impossible that they are alluding to a primal. Whatever it is, we'll find out together, and if anyone tries to stop us, they'll answer to me. Indeed, this is assuming you'll have us. Honorable Heroes. Quagnard. Cordon Bleu. Pescator. Pablimo has a mind to learn the Griffin's true intentions. If, as you suspect, the Griffin is indeed plotting to summon a primal, we must needs obtain confirmation while there is yet time to act. To that end, I propose we question his double. Given his role as the group's de facto mouthpiece, I should not be surprised if he were one of Griffin's closest associates, and while he may not be aware of the most sensitive details, he can probably tell us the mask's plans in broad strokes. Like the man whom he impersonates, however, he is wary of outsiders. He will not expose himself without a suitable incentive. My plan is as follows. You and Alphino will pose as adventurers fallen on hard times, inspired by his words to take up arms for a noble cause. Ida and I, as members of the Resistance, will recount tales of your past achievements and testify as to your usefulness in the struggles ahead. With our enthusiastic assurances still ringing in their ears, he will decide to welcome you in person, and we will arrange a meeting. He will need to look the part, that we might maintain the charade until we have him cornered at least. Here, this should be enough to purchase suitable garments from Tailbot, and to have him rub a respectable amount of dirt on them for good measure. Any questions? Where's pizza? It all seems simple enough. Thank you. And with that, Elric, let us be off. You want to buy what? I don't know what you're up to, but I want no part of it. Well, you're the ones with the gill, and seeing as you're friends of Papalymo, there. Tunic and slops for both of you, tailored and are treated to your taste. Now, off with you, before someone sees us together. Clothes maketh the man, as they say. Right then. I will go in chains and see you at the spot Papalymo marked on our maps. Let's see here. We're looking for... Nope. Oh, I guess it's inventory. Let's see. And the pants. There we go. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just a farmer. Well, look at us. A pair of down-at-heel adventurers seeking a chance to recapture past glories. Yes, this should suffice. And now we play the waiting game.
My thanks, comrades. You must be the esteemed adventurers of whom I've heard so much. I understand you have taken an interest in our cause.
A great interest, you might say. Your words have certainly made quite an impression on my friend and I. The Resistance has long, and some would say wisely, avoided open engagements with the Garleans, but you and yours seem confident against the world in arms. I can only assume you have good reason to be so bold. Why, one might even think you are planning to summon a primal. Because that would do much to explain the sizable shipment of crystals you recently received from your smuggler friends, whom our Ishgardian allies have since detained, lest you wonder.
I'd like to hear more about the Griffin. The real Griffin. Your performance earlier didn't fool us.
Ah, the famous scions of the Seventh Dawn. I should have known better than to think I could conceal the truth from you lot. You are right. I am not the Griffin, but I speak with his voice, and it was at his behest that we procured those crystals. You are wrong, however, if you think that we procured them to summon a primal. We used them to reach an accord with the Amalja. In exchange for crystals to summon their god, they will aid us in the fight for Alamegan liberation.
You've got to be joking! Have you gone completely mad? When people find out you helped the Lizardmen summon Ifrit, they'll turn on the Resistance. Alamigo will never be free!
This isn't a fairy tale, girl. We don't have the luxury to play at being honorable heroes. It's because the likes of you wouldn't sully your saintly hands that Alamigo's been under the yoke for the past 20 years. But the Griffin won't stand for it, and neither will we. We're ready to do whatever it takes.
What proof do you have of this arrangement with the Amalja?
What? Aside from a lack of crystals? None. But the beastmen have a great big pile of the things if you fancy looking. You might want to hurry, though. It'll not be long before they summon their god. Search our camp if you don't believe me. We have naught to hide.
If there is a cache to be found, Ida and I will find it.
Then let us be off. Are you perchance the Warrior of Light?
Nope, I'm just a farmer with a scythe.
Aye. I thought so. You should know that a great many who have joined us did so because you saved them. Because you showed them that one brave man can make a difference. You saved me too once. Helped a friend over in Quarry Mill make some medicine I needed. But that was a lifetime ago. On behalf of my brothers and sisters, I thank you. You gave us hope where there was none, courage and strength when all was lost. We shall not squander your gift.
I know that look, Ida, and I do not like it. You cannot seriously be contemplating taking up arms with that band of cutthroats.
I just...
If the Griffin and his men have their way, it is only a matter of time before the situation in Alamigo comes to a head. Your homeland's future teeters on a knife edge, and any reckless action, however small, could have irrevocable consequences. You mustn't lose sight of that, Ida. When the time comes, we must all make our choices, but we must do so in full possession of the facts. Now, let us away. There is work to be done.
Quarrymill, he said. Do you remember? Forgive me, you cannot be expected to recall every name and face, and besides, it's not as if it matters. I have long admired how you live in the present, how you focus on the problems at hand, and always keep moving forward. So let us keep moving forward together, Alaric. We must find and secure those crystals. This is no time for looking back. $25. Yeah, definitely better. Okay. One life for one world. Alphino would like to keep moving forward. If we take the Griffin's double at his word, then the crystals are now somewhere within Zaharak, ready to be put to use by the Amalja. We must appraise Alice of all we have learned. I will join both of you at Little Alamigo after I've changed. Now that Thancred has finally arrived, mayhap you could share your latest findings. You mean to tell me that while we were worrying ourselves sick, Ida and Papameo were here all along? Well, Y'shtola will be relieved, and also angry. Mainly angry, I should think. As for the crystals, what choice do we have? Cannot very well leave them in the hands of the Amalja. For all we know, they could be preparing to summon Ifrit, even as we speak. We must make for Zaharak without delay. Agreed. If there is naught else to discuss, let us depart at once. And so they go forth in accordance with the Griffin's plan. The players gather to assume their marks on a stage wreathed in flame. Ere long, the curtain shall rise, and the drama of which I am author, Gods forgive me, shall at least be performed. Naught else remaineth, save to stand at the ready and pray that the chance is seized, for never shall we know its like again. I confess I expected a warmer greeting, but we must not jump the conclusions, not until we have braved the Bowl of Embers. We must be ready to engage the enemy at any moment. If you would make any final preparations, pray do so now. I shall await your signal. Upon proceeding to the Bowl of Embers, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Please remain seated for the remainder of the ride.
This isn't right. The Emulger would never leave this place so poorly guarded.
Not willingly, no.
The saviors of Eorzea. Slow as ever.
By the 12. Will you never learn?
You know, you're right. Mayhap it is time for a change of tack. Killing primals, tormenting beastmen, hastening the birth of a new god. It's all a bit much, isn't it? And frankly, we don't have the leisure to do it. But killing the Warrior of Light, on the other hand, that would soon plunge Eorzea into chaos. One life for one world. A fair exchange! Wouldn't you agree?
Lest you forget, you've more than one opponent.
Carbuncle! Defend me!
I sense you will offer more than mere target practice, unlike your sister.
Alizé!
Did I not tell you, Alphino? I am not the girl I once was. My brother was always the clever one, while my talents lay elsewhere. If you would dare to stand against us, to destroy all that we hold dear, then you shall die by my sword!
Let's finish this.
Oh, I'm gonna stomp this fool. Let's stomp these fools.
It ends now. What?
The chains!
You snake! You would betray us as well?
He that holdeth fast unto his convictions shall never count betrayal amongst his crimes, though all the world may call him villain. My path is unchanged, my creed sacrosanct. This I believe with all my heart. But say, warrior of darkness, and speak true, what dost thou believe? That rendering up the souls of thy world in service to the rejoining will grant it salvation? Nay.
By the 12! Oriange!
Mine apologies, Master Alphino. That the brightest light might shine, duty did compel me to walk in darkest shade.
You sweet fool. I was almost willing to believe you had turned against us. I expect a full explanation when this is over. For now, may I assume you have turned your cloak for the last time?
Thou mayest, my lady. By thy leave.
Even odds, then. No matter. We'll crush the lot of you in one fell swoop!
Understood.
Hearken to me. We only have one chance. Channel your ether into my blade that I might strike before the mage casts his spell. I cannot do it alone, but together we can defeat them! Make ready! They come! done. With this blade, I banish the darkness.
No. Not like this.
Alize, are you hurt?
A touch dizzy, but otherwise fine. Thank you.
And there you have it. Our friend is too stubborn to die.
We are far from finished. Or have you never considered how we came to this world?
Crystals? You mean, like the Ascians?
Just so. As the Ascians flee unto the rift twixt planes with crystals of darkness, so did these warriors come hither with crystals of light.
Eloquent, as always. Aye, like the Ascians, we too are beyond death. You cannot defeat that which is eternal.
Wait! Such methods as the Ascians employ require the renunciation of the flesh. You would have had to...
At long last, you see. To save our world, we gave our lives. We were just adventurers trying to make our way. An odd job here, a favor there. We never aspired to be warriors of light. But word of our deeds spread, and soon people were calling us heroes. They placed their hopes and dreams on our shoulders, and bid us fight for all that was good and right. We fought. And we fought, and we fought, until there was no one left to fight. We won! And now our world is being erased from existence. We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this. You of all people should understand. We will not falter. We brought our world to the brink of destruction, and now we must save it.
I've died before, Arbet. I'm not afraid to die again.
No matter how many times we fall, we must rise and carry on the fight for those we left behind.
to have known the depths of sorrow and embraced the highest sacrifice. Nonetheless, Master Louis Sois, guide my hand, I pray you, as fate's thread spinneth upon this most capricious spindle. Quickly! Thou must needs invoke the power of thy crystal.
What is this place?
Such pain. Such sorrow. Oh, my dear children.
It can't be.
Mother Heidelin, hearken unto your children's plea. From two worlds do we gather, and from two worlds do we offer a bounty of light. In this desperate hour we do beseech your intercession. We beg an audience with the word of the Mother, with your chosen Minfilia.
Your cries go not unheard, nor your sacrifices unnoticed. Though many are lost, there are those we can yet save, whom I can yet save.
Minfilia!
Blessed children of the First, the light of your world hath grown blinding in its radiance, but it is not yet absolute. I will hie me to your world, and there take unto myself the light which riseth even now to drown it, as darkness once did drown another.
Now you deign to answer our prayers? I will suffer this farce no longer!
As the Ascians must serve as instruments of Zodiark's will, so too must others carry out the will of Heidelin. But for the boon you have granted her, she has grown strong enough to set me free, that I might serve as her emissary. Your suffering, your sacrifice, your supplications, she has heard all. We will not let the first fall to light. Thank you, Urianger, for bringing everyone here. It fills my heart with joy to look upon the faces of my friends once more.
In taking you unto her bosom, I knew that Heidelin had bequeathed to you a sliver of her grace, granting you strength long sought. And in treating with the Ascians, I learnt of a star like unto our own, a doomed world of fallen heroes in whom I glimpsed ourselves, the first. Full long did I search for a means to save this world, concluding at the last that the answer lay in the power of blessed crystals. And thus did I labor to set light against dark. Yet I knew from the beginning that this salvation would not come without sacrifice. For the instrument of the first's deliverance would of necessity be required to journey thither, there to remain, mayhap forever.
You orchestrated all of this, not to save her, but to send her away!
One life for one world. Such was the bargain, and you the coin, though it were not mine to spend.
Have we not walked together in the light of the crystal, and at her bidding borne witness to the joys and sorrows of this land? Each and every one of you knows my heart. If this be the price I must pay, I pay it gladly.
You would go alone then?
My dearest Thancred, you who have ever watched over me, I am truly grateful for all you have done on my behalf, as would my father be. Your kindness, your compassion, your love. These are your gifts to me, and our gifts to them, forming a bond which transcends time and space.
Sometimes I forget you are not the child I once knew. Make me proud.
Long have I watched you from Heidellin's side, watched as you nurtured and kept safe the light of the dawn. The dark recesses of the world hide untold secrets and dangers. Thus do I entrust to you, Tupsimati. I pray you, keep to the path that you may never have need of it.
Twould seem the power of our crystals is all but spent. Perhaps, if there is naught else to be done.
Hear me, servants of Heidelin. If you would have us place our trust in you, then I would ask a favor. Take us with you. Take us home. We were blind to the truth once, so I tell you this, as one fool to another. Light, dark, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you choose to use them. We made our choice and you see what came of it, so please, forge a different path, seize a better fate.
It is a strange feeling. So many times have I watched you depart, my heart filled with worry. And ever did you return to me in triumph. Someday, when I have found a way to free this star from her sorrow, I promise you I shall repay the favor. Thank you, Lemmy, for everything.
It would seem we are in the southern Thanalin again. Minfili is doing, no doubt, May the 12 speed her on her way, and the warriors of darkness too. Cannot help but wonder what awaits those wayward souls. If they gave their lives in order to travel to the source, then in returning to the first, would they not? But mayhap that was their last wish. All right, well, I think this is an excellent place to stop for now. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.